Hi guys, welcome to another edition of Cooking with Her Spoon. It's Dee. Okay, so today I'm going to show you guys how I fix my chicken fettuccine Alfredo with homemade Alfredo sauce. Just had to wash my hands up again really quick. So over here in my pot, I already have my fettuccine noodles. And they are done. I just have them sitting in my hot water. I have a stick of butter. It can be salted, unsalted. That's totally up to you, your preference. Which is basically what the stick of butter is basically 8 tablespoons of butter. And then I have 1 box of heavy whipping cream. And this is 1 pint that I'm going to use in my recipe today. So, my butter is melting. I have the heat turned on low on that. And I have my chicken over here, chicken strips. Right here. I've already rinsed those and I've already seasoned those with my Cavender's all-purpose seasoning. You guys should know this by now if you watch my other videos. My go-to seasoning. So I have my non-stick skillet here. And sometimes I use just regular vegetable oil, a capful. But today, I'm going to use 2 capfuls of olive oil. Just regular, extra light in taste olive oil. So, I'm going to turn this up a little bit and just give that a whirl to get that covered in the bottom of my skillet while I grab my tongs. Okay. And happy Valentine's Day to you guys out there today. So I have my chicken strips. I'm gonna put those in. And the amount of chicken you use all depends on how many you're trying to feed. So, it's really no particular amount, just whatever amount you think you would need to feed your family. This particular meal, my husband and I only will be eating. So I'm going to do about maybe 6 strips because the chicken do shrink when you start cooking it. It will shrink up on you. And then I'll store the rest of that chicken maybe tomorrow to do maybe some fried chicken tenders or something. Okay, so I'm going to turn this up a little bit so that can get going really well. And I'm going to shake up my heavy whipping cream. Now that my butter is all the way melted. And you don't want to cook this Alfredo sauce too fast. I used to be so afraid that Alfredo sauce was so much work and I would buy the jar out of the grocery store. Never again. I don't think I bought a can or jar of Alfredo sauce. Maybe, how long I've been doing my own? Maybe 2 years. Maybe 2 years or a little more. So, with that particular item that I'm telling you about how to cook the Alfredo sauce, sorry guys, I'm tired. I worked today on Valentine's Day as well. I'm going to use 1 tablespoon of garlic salt. Usually, again, as you watch my other videos, I just try to wing it because I don't really do measurement. But the last time I fixed them, it was a little bit too salty. So I'm going to measure my salt out this time. So 1 tablespoon should be suffice. Now that you've seen the kind of noodles, I'm going to go ahead and discard my box. Okay, so my chicken is coming along well. Let's stir in our garlic salt. And I'm going to let this Alfredo sauce cook some on medium is what I would suggest. Medium heat. So I'm going to put this here. so I can flip my chicken over. See how pretty that's coming out? And you can cut the chicken in chunks or little strips. I actually like to cut mine in little strips. To me, it just goes better with the noodles, with the shape of the fettuccine noodles. Okay, that's looking good. And what you can do while you're waiting for your sauce to come up to speed, I'm going to turn the camera on that a little bit, so there you go, so you can see both items. What you can do is you can go ahead and cut your chicken. That way it won't take forever for it to cook all the way through. Okay. So, with that being said, I'm going to grab a chicken strip, my kitchen shears, and just slice like so. And just keep this on like medium. You don't want it to cook too fast to where it burn the outside of your chicken, but then the inside is still not done. So you want to keep that on like a medium heat in your skillet. And you just continue on with each piece. I don't cut thick, chunky strips of it. Sorry, getting tongue-tied here. But I just cut it in strips so it can go ahead and cook all the way through. Alright. And I think I'm going to turn my sauce up just a little bit. Kind of have to monitor that, your sauce. You don't want to cook it too fast, but you don't want to cook it too slow either. And with the Alfredo sauce, the homemade sauce, oh my goodness. And we're going to add shredded Parmesan cheese to that sauce once it starts cooking a little bit and getting a little thicker. Now, the one I make, I don't know about anybody else, but the Alfredo sauce that I make homemade, it don't get super thick, but you can definitely tell that it's not like runny. It's not so liquidy, so to speak. It's so not a word, but you get my point, I hope. Alright, and this chicken is coming along really good. 2 more strips and we are done with that. So, since the pandemic, I haven't really been out to dine in a lot of restaurants. I miss going out, especially to Olive Garden. I love their chicken fettuccine Alfredo. Now, I ain't saying mine is up there with theirs, but I'm telling you, this Alfredo sauce I'm showing you guys tonight is definitely better than any I've had in the jar that's on the shelf in the grocery store. I can tell you that. Alright, now, whew, sometimes when you're cutting your chicken, it feels like it's never ending. Alright, so you see how the sauce is foaming up some? I'm gonna stir that. Don't want anything to stick. And it takes a lot for it to stick anyway in these types of pots that I'm using. Every pot that is claiming to be non-stick is not created equal. I'm gonna just say that. But I found some pretty good ones in the ones I have, so I'm thankful for that. Okay. Chicken is still cooking. See a little bit of pink, so definitely not done. Just giving it a stir so everything can get cooked evenly. Okay, now I'm seeing that my sauce back there is really boiling really good. So what I'm going to do is grab my cheese. And I have 1 6-ounce bag of Parmesan cheese, shredded cheese. And while it's cooking so good back there, I'm gonna just dump my whole bag in, the whole bag. And then I'm gonna slow it down a little bit because I want my cheese to get nice and incorporated in here without it beginning to clump or get burnt. So you just want to kind of stir from side to side and round in your pot. Like so. And this chicken is pretty much almost done. Almost. I like my meats to be well done. Not burnt, but well done. And I think what I'm going to do, what you can do, if you're cooking other things, like while we're waiting for our sauce to get where it needs to be, chicken is looking really good. See that chicken? I'm going to show you something because I like all my food to come up at the same time. I'm going to dump it in my little bakeware dish. That way, I can at least keep it nice and warm while I'm waiting for my sauce to cook. There we go. And then I'm going to cover it with foil, so if I put it in my oven to stay warm, it won't dry my chicken out. And I'm going to move this here so we can get a better view of it. Oh yes, it's beginning to thicken. And like I said, you don't want it to start scorching. Look at that, guys. That looks really good. So, I feel like this is good enough as far as the cook time. I'm going to let it finish thickening up on its own with the natural heat that's going to be left on my unit, on my stove. It smells so good. So good. Yes, I'm very pleased with this. I'm going to go put my chicken up really quick. So, I'm going to do a quick recap and then I'm going to get off here. We have chicken fettuccine Alfredo. We have our sauce here. It is nice. Oh, it smells so good. I love the way it's turned out. So we did fettuccine noodles right here in the pot. All I have to do is strain them. Whoop, about burnt my arm. Fettuccine noodles. We have our chicken, boneless, skinless chicken strips that we use. And we did 2 tablespoons of the olive oil in our skillet for our chicken to cook. And we seasoned the chicken with Cavender's all-purpose seasoning. Now, the sauce, we had a stick of butter. You can do salted or unsalted, doesn't matter, whatever your preference. We have the heavy whipping cream, 1 pint, 1 6-ounce bag of your Parmesan shredded cheese, and we have a tablespoon of garlic salt to our sauce. I'm going to complement this meal with some garlic bread and maybe a side salad, and that's going to be it. Well, thank you guys for watching. Please like, share, subscribe.